Welcome to the Man of Truth, aka the Villain of Truth, aka the Black Panther of Nigeria. How are you doing, everyone? I hope you have a great day. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are joining me from the world. Welcome to the Man of Truth, the Villain of Truth, the Black Panther of Nigeria. I'm giving people about 10, 15 minutes, 10 minutes at least, or 5 to 10 minutes. For those who would love to join me on today's episode, please do join me. The Vision himself is live at the moment. The Black Panther himself is live at the moment. The man who tells you exactly how he sees it. Today, our subject and our conversation is the continuation of yesterday. And the continuation of the subject we had yesterday was focused on searching for the right man. And that's what we left in our discussion yesterday, and we are going to be continuing from there. So I just want to give out a few moments to see those who are going to be joining me live. I know some people will just be getting the notification now. So let me give people about 5-10 minutes to see those who are going to be joining me live. Okay, one person is joining me live at the moment. Welcome to the Man of Thoughts, aka the Black Panther of Nigeria, aka the Villain of Truth. We are going to be having the continuation of our discussion yesterday, which is tailored around searching for the right person or the right man. We had the conversation yesterday, and it was a very interesting one. If you haven't watched it, make sure you go back and watch. Well, for 6 people right now are joining me live. For those who are actually joining me, please give a thumbs up so it notifies me that these are part of people who will be willing to participate into this discussion. Thumbs up, at least let's have 3 so we can proceed on to this conversation, just like we had a great one yesterday. Okay, we already have one. I think I have a call coming. Oops. That was my sister calling me. Yeah. So please, we already have one person. Let somebody else indicate. We are going to be having a discussion on searching for the right man, and the continuation of the conversation. That's exactly what we are doing at the moment. So please feel free to be able to double tap and like and join me into this subject. Please, if you also have contributions to whatever we discussed yesterday, if you have a question, let them keep rolling. Let everything keep rolling in. Yeah. We're going to continue from where we stopped yesterday. Can we give about let's give about maybe 2 minutes more for those who are going to join us for them to come on live. Yeah. Please be patient. Let's give about 2 minutes. If you have a question, if you have anything you just want to say, feel free to be able to say that. Yeah. Mm. So please, if you're here for the conversation, like we had yesterday, please show a thumbs up and a like, so it can indicate to other people that we are live, and it also indicates to me that you're ready for the conversation. CC Motion, 1998. Good day, sir. Good day, ma. Sometimes I can't differentiate. Good day, sir. Good day, ma. It's been a while. I think you were with us on Saturday. You joined one of our episodes on Saturday. So welcome back. I would just like to glance through the conversation we had yesterday before I proceed on today's topic. Part of the subject we touched on yesterday, due to the conversation going on relationship and everything, I made a decision to talk to the ladies on how to vet to choose the right man. How to vet to choose the right man, which I actually said, there are few questions when you find a man that you are interested in. There are few questions that have to rise within yourself that when you ask the man, and you can also see, not just by what he says, but you can see these things play out in his life, there is a chance that you are going to have not just a successful relationship, but a long-lasting marriage. Not just a successful relationship, but a long-lasting marriage. And please, while we proceed, I am not trying to tell you that I am a marriage coach or life coach or all those kind of titles that everybody gives to themselves. I am telling you based off the reflection of my life, based off experience of my life, and based off certain gifts and certain principles that have always worked since the beginning of time. And certain people have the mentality that in the days of our fathers and our mothers, it was all about force. And right now, it should all be about love and happiness in the marriage. And they say marriage makes us miserable. And I'm saying that if you do not want to have a miserable life when you go into marriage, you have to be specific and you have to be cautious of what you're going to be going in for. And as a lady, women pay a lot of price in marriage. And because women pay a lot of prices in marriage, they carry the heavy load. You have to be selective of the man you want, not just by his outward appearance, but by his inward appearance. And part of the things we touched on was we spoke about questions that you can ask the man. And number one question we touched on is like, what are your thoughts? The question a lady should be asking a man is, what are your thoughts on marriage and what role do you see yourself playing in a successful marriage? And then the second question goes to, how do you handle conflict or disagreements in a relationship? Which I did explain the meaning of all this, all the reasons behind all these questions. And thirdly, I talk about what are your priorities when it comes to balancing career and family. And I made it clear that this particular question, it is to see where the mind of the man is and how does he actually approach the people in his family, where he's coming from, and his friends. To know if he prioritizes the relationship or is somebody who is not going to be willing to stay long in the relationship. And I always say this: not every husband is willing to be a father. Some of them want to be a father, but they are not competent to be a father. When you get married to a man, you call him your soulmate, and later you give him a title called your husband. But your husband, the question you need to ask is he competent to be a father? And the same thing vice versa, when a man is getting married to a wife, are you asking yourself as a man, am I marrying a mother? Because if she's not competent enough to be a mother and she's just a wife, when motherhood begins to show up in her life, you start seeing a different drama unfolding in your life. And so I said, as a lady, which we are focusing on ladies, what are the questions you can ask your man? First of all, what are your thoughts on marriage, and what role do you see yourself playing in a successful marriage? How do you handle conflict or disagreement in a relationship? And I said that you would have to look at how he handle conflict within his own family and within his own friends. If a man does not find it difficult to exchange blow with those people that he call his friend, if he does not find it difficult to exchange fists with whoever he call his friend, just know as a lady that you most likely would be assaulted. You might call it domestic violence in your relationship. If anyone finds it comfortable to lay hands on his sisters, if a man finds it comfortable to lay hands on his sisters, to lay hands on his cousins, the ones that are grown-up sisters, and find it also comfortable to exchange punches or fists with his friends, those people he actually call his friend, he would have no problem raising his hands on you when you are both married. And then I ask a question: how does he handle conflict? You have to look at the angle, how he handles conflict between his family, and how does he handle conflict with his friends. Good afternoon, Barry. Thanks for joining. Welcome. So, and the third question was, what are your priorities when it comes to balancing career and family life? Then I ask, what values did your parents instill? What values did your parents instill in you about family and relationship? And I say, when you're speaking to a man and asking all these things, it is not just based off what he say, because when he begins to crack his head to give you such answer, just know that he's not being real with you. When you ask a man a question, what values did your parents instill in you about family and relationship? And he begins to crack his head and he wants to give you an intelligent answer so that he look what? Why did they put it? Politically correct or relationship correct? Just know that he's cracking his head. That is not who he is. Because if he is that particular thing, he will tell you exactly what he is without thinking about it. And you can also see it with your eyes, not just by what he's saying, but it is possible for you to see them with your own eyes. When he goes to see his mom, what is the relationship between the man and his mother? When he goes to see his father, what is the relationship in his family and what is the relationship with his friends? And if you see that the relationship dynamics he have with his friends are not pure, do not think that the man is so special, because for him to have made decisions that these kind of people are meant to be my friend, and when you give him advice or you keep watching him and you see that he sticks so much with those friends, look at the life of those friends and look at his actions with his friend and his family, and then you know how he's going to treat you in the relationship. The fifth one, where we stopped yesterday, I say, how important is communication in a marriage to you? And how do you prefer to resolve misunderstanding? And I say that a man who does not find it difficult to exchange blows with his friends would not find it difficult to exchange blows or to use you as a punching bag. Simple. Weniak 917, long time. Good day, my brother. How have you been? I'm doing fine. What do you mean by pure? Please, can you also explain the word pure? When did I say pure? Did I use any word pure here? You can let me understand. So we are going to continue from where we actually stop. Let me see your question here. You said about friendship. Okay, let me rephrase what I say so you can understand. I said a man who does not find it difficult to exchange fists or blow with his friends, the people he so much call his friends, if he does not find it difficult to exchange blows with his friend whenever there's misunderstanding between them, and I'm not talking about sparring, I'm not talking about gymnastics, I'm not talking about all these things. I'm saying someone that when he call these people my best friend or my friends and he go out with these people, but he does not find it his friend, he would likely, if not 100%, raise punch on the lady that he call his wife whenever they have misunderstanding, because he has proved it with the people who he has grown with or the people who he actually trusts. And if they have established relationship for a very long time and he thinks that there's no problem to fight those people, then he would not find it difficult whenever you both have misunderstanding to raise his hand and beat you as a woman. The apple does not fall far from the tree. Yes. Because if I call you my friend, and I've been an example of this, I said it, my best friend has betrayed me many times. Being in cell, being in prison, my friend has done all those things to me. And at some point, all his business got destroyed and I brought him to my own business to take over, regardless of what he has done to me. And he still decide at the moment, at that particular time, to take over my business. And what I decided to do was to walk away from him and find a different path to my life. Some people would have found it like, oh, I have to beat up my friend or we have to fight. I'm not exchanging blow with you. But when a man participates in things like this, you see that that is who he is and is going to do that in a relationship. Now, we are going to continue from where we stop. So today we are going to start with number 6 and let's see how far we can go in this. And I tell ladies that these particular things, apart from what the man pronounced out of his mouth, you have to look at his actions and compare it with his words. So number 6, one of the things a lady needs to look at when you want to date a man is that what are your long-term goals for building a family and how do you envision raising children? As a lady, you should ask your man in some discussion, And I'm not just saying you are going to list all these questions in one day and you ask him. I'm saying subsequently, as you have conversation, begin to chip it in and begin to see the process of how he thinks and his perception. And that will tell you if he is actually ready to be a father, if he's actually ready to be a husband, and besides, is he actually ready to be a long-time partner? Because if the purpose of your marriage is so that you guys can just date for 3 years or 4 years and then both of you will break up, that's just like you doing baby mama and baby father. In fact, those money you guys are spending during time of marriage, you shouldn't have spent those money. You should have just invested it in different business, knowing that it is just what do you call it, baby mama thing. And so women have to be selective on what they have to do or the kind of man they choose. So I say, number 6 question you should be asking a man is, what are your long-term goals for building a family, and how do you envision raising children? One of the things I've also told lady is this: do not get married to a man who does not have a vision. Do not get married to a man who does not have a vision. He might have a job, he might have a career, but if he does not have a vision, that simply means you can't trust such a person to lead you. And what does it mean to have a vision? A vision is the process. You are saying, I have something I'm looking up to, how I want at the long run, how my life should be like. Because any man who does not know how his future is going to be, that simply means he's an unpredictable person. That simply means he might go into something that he is not prepared for. And the importance of seeing a man who actually has vision is to say that, what are your visions? If his vision, out of him explaining his vision for you, and you are not part of that vision, and the children and the family is not part of his vision, maybe every single time you ask him, what is the vision for your life? And the man begins to talk to you about, oh, I want to be political, oh, I want to start flying in plane when I make it. I want to be on the plane, I want to be traveling around the world and the rest of it. And it's not including you into that plan and that vision. And it's not including the children, regardless of the fact that they are unborn. If his vision, constant vision, does not include you, that simply means he does not see you in the long-term future of his life. And I always say this, one of the crises that we are having today is that most men do not have vision. Most of them are just, being distracted with the society, everybody shouting that, oh, because women are educated, oh, they are having equal rights, and that's the reason why we don't want to get married and blah, 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 blah. Everybody are just giving excuses, and you ask, does this man truly have a vision? Does he truly have a plan? We have seen in this same crisis that people talk about relationship, we have seen certain men who get married and they are able to, prepare their life and create a vision for their wife and for their children, and they have a successful home. I am a testimony of it. I have a lot of people who have done the same thing in their life, older than me. In fact, I only have older people as my friends. So if you are not part of his vision and your children are not part of his vision, then that simply means along the way, he might see something different, a woman that is more beautiful, something else can distract him. And so that's the purpose behind the question. Number 7, the question you should ask a man is, how do you express love? Oh, I don't think that one is even important. Let us ask ourselves the other question. I hope I've not jumped to a different one. because there are much here. Okay. Number 8. What does respect in a relationship mean to you, and how do you practice it? Let me call that number 7. What does respect in a relationship mean to you, and how do you practice it? Now, this particular question is a question that should rise among the woman. You see, it is not possible for a woman to love a man that she does not respect. She can try to have agape love, but at the end of the day, you can never be attracted to a man that you did not respect. So there's a way you would know if the man you are dating, you are going to love him long time. When you are dating a man, there are signs that you would use to know that in the long run, you will still love this man. And that simply means you must have the attraction of respect for him. But the question is this: is he competent to be able to make you respect him because he's a disciplined person who is being respected, and it sees that to be one of his rules or one of his laws or part of the principles of his life? And it's very easy for you to know. Most men, when they approach a woman, they pretend to be Alpha and Omega. They pretend to be as if they are corporate. They pretend to be as if they make 6 figures. They pretend to act as if they have 6 packs, like they have a better future. But when you can dial down, when you look at them, they will reveal themselves. And how do you know? When you go with a man to visit his parents or his family, whatever he says in his family, wherever he comes from, whatever he says in his family, does his mother, does his father, does his sisters, does his brother, do they respect him when he speaks? If they do not respect the man, he cannot sustain respect in your relationship. And here are the reasons. The man has come from that same family for many years, and the mother has always seen him as a child. And now, if the man is grown up and is matured enough, and the mother cannot still see him, or the parents cannot see him as someone who can make decision for his life, and they want to help him make decision, and they are the one telling him, oh, this lady, I did not like this lady. Oh, this woman, this is how she's supposed to cook. Oh, this is how life is supposed to be. No, they are talking to him like he's still a child. Just know that you cannot be in a long-term relationship with such a man, simply because you would lose respect for him after a period of time. Secondly, you have to look at his friends. Does his friends respect him? Does the friend of your man, do they respect him? How do they shake hands? How do they act? How do they communicate? Men can be playful. Men can be comical. But in the way they accept and in the way they interact, if he's a person that whenever he says things, his friends do not take it serious. His friend always see whatever he says like, this is just a person. This is just talking. We cannot take this particular, maybe his name is Tony, for example. We cannot take Tony's words serious. Then simply know that such a man, you would lose attraction for him as time goes on, because if he cannot sustain respect within his friends and with his family, he cannot sustain that respect. It is an habit. It is habitual. So what does respect in a relationship mean to you, and how do you practice it? You would see it through his actions, how he practices respect and how he takes respect seriously. Sometimes when you just start dating him, he might be telling his friend and they'll be pretending like, oh, he's our guy. Oh, our guy. We know you are going with the lady, and they know exactly what you want to do, because for most of them, it's just a game. But if he's someone whereby they take him serious, within a period of 1 month and 2 months, watch their interaction, how they communicate. Do they respect each other? If they do not respect each other as friends, he can never respect you, or you can never respect him in the marriage. You may try to respect him, but you can try as much as you can, but you cannot be able to sustain it. If someone is not commanding respect, it is difficult for you to respect the person. No wonder in today's society, most men are screaming, I want a woman who is submissive. I want a woman who is submissive. What is the problem? Because they have no honor and they have lost dignity in themselves. When they do not know how to command respect, when they do not know how to be a man with dignity and integrity, because if you have these things, the world is going to respect you regardless. But if you participate in nonchalant attitude and you have discussions that makes no sense with the whole world, and you poke nose and you gossip and the rest of it, you start looking for a woman who will be a slave that will be able to give you the respect that you truly have not earned. There is no woman that is difficult for me to get married to or to have respect in the relationship with the person, because I know what I would take and I know what I won't take. CC Motion says, okay, 100% true. Berry says, what if the man you've been with, supporting him for years, and the man has done nothing to improve his finances and seems to put his family priority over the relationship? How should this be handled? When you're talking about the family, are you talking about the family where it came from? Are you talking about the family where it came from? Or are you talking about the family with you and the man? Okay, that's the family where it came from. Now, this is it. Your statement is very easy. You said if you have been in a relationship with him for a very long time and you have been supporting him financially, let me read it one more time so I don't misinterpret anything. You said, what if the man you have been with, supporting him for years, this is not months, for years, and the man has done nothing to improve his finances and seems to put his family priority over the relationship, how should this be handled? If he has not kidnapped you, just walk away. If he has not kidnapped you in a place, just walk away. Because here is it. He is not yet ready to start anything with you. The Bible says, for this reason will a man leave his generation, and the woman will leave her generation, and they will come and cling together, and they shall become one. Now, when a man is prepared to truly be a man, his family becomes secondary. The family where he came from becomes secondary. And you and the vision he has wherever he's going, because he has a journey with you, it becomes primary. Should he not take care of his family? No, that's not what I'm saying. His family should be part of the things. Yes, his mother might have been through a lot for him. His father might have done a lot for him and the rest of it. But if he decides to date you and you both are thinking to have a long-term relationship, perhaps you want to get married. Because if you are just dating for dating crisis, yes, you can just keep supporting him. But if he's not taking his finances serious and you have been supporting him for years and years and years, it is important for you to know that he's just using you as an ATM. After a period of time, he will walk away. I said something. My wife, for 2 years, my wife has taken care of the whole house. Yes, I have properties. Even during those time, I have properties, but you would not know that I'm so broke. My wife supported me for good 2 years. I was down, but she knew that I had plans and things I am working after. And the reason for the plans and everything I am doing is basically because of our own family. And in any blessing we establish and we make from our family, out of our abundance, will I give to my own family where I came from. Because a man cannot be committed to two things. A man can love multiple people. A man can love one person, but a man cannot be committed to two things. A man can mostly be committed to one thing. If he's not committed to you, he's committed to his family. You are just an ATM for him. So that's my answer for that. I think the bright thing for you to do is to walk away. It's going to be difficult. And the reason why, let me even say this, the reason why it's going to be difficult as a lady to walk away is this. Whenever women commit and they sacrifice in a relationship, financially, emotionally, and all these things, it becomes very difficult for a woman to walk away. For a man, we might spend money for a woman and she can just say something and we can decide we are not interested in the relationship anymore. For a woman, it is different. And that's why it's R. Kelly that sang the song. He says, when a woman loves, when a man loves, she loves, okay, when a woman loves a man, she loves for real. So the moment she begins to commit and sacrifice emotionally, physically, financially, mentally, it is difficult for her to see the possibility of walking away from that relationship because she has believed and she has put her interest and her faith in that relationship. But sometimes, for you to grow in life, your belief has to hit you sometimes on the face. And you have to wake up to understand that such person cannot be reliable for you. Good evening, my son. Welcome. Now, the next question you should be asking is that this is the next question. How do you handle financial planning and budgeting within a household? And I think particularly that question should be with the woman, because I say that when a man has a vision, a man should be investing towards the vision. But at the same time, a man should be thinking of the vision and he should be thinking of the moment. And in the moment, the man should be thinking, how can I support my wife or how can I support my family so that they can flourish at this moment while I'm building an empire for them in the future? Does he have a plan to invest? And yesterday, when I was I was discussing with people, I said that a man who is working hard and is saving money and does not think of investing, do not get married to that man. No matter how hardworking a man is, if his perception about life is all about saving and working hard, do not get married to that man. Now, you can help him to teach him how to invest. If he's someone who you can persuade him to invest and is willing to adjust, yes, you can teach him something that he does not understand. And since he's willing to improve, then know that, yes, you guys have a better future for yourself. But a man who Whenever he make money, he only save and he goes to party and he enjoys his life, he save, and he always buy things for you, things for his family, things for his friend, and that is how the circle of his life is. Run. Because he lacks vision. Barry says, I understand that situation totally with your family. You discuss future with your current wife, so she knew it was a future with you. But this guy only discussed future. Maliko Sondaya. It's simple. Kevin Samuel will say it. You can't make this shit up. But that's when he's talking about the women. And to the man's place too, you can't make this shit up. You can know the man who is committed to you and you can know the man who is not committed to you. Just look at his vision. If his vision is always taking you out of the picture, and trust me, you would know when he's just flirting with you or trying to make you feel like he includes you to the plan. Just watch him carefully how he speaks. See how he speaks when he's desperate. See how he speaks when he's happy. See how he speaks when he's serious. And always watch the serious time when he's having a serious discussion, because when he's desperate and he needs something, he would want to put you in that picture. So you stay with him. Maybe he's broke at that particular moment, or maybe because he enjoys your company at that particular moment, he would always want to include you and lie. That is lie. But when he truly puts you part of his plan, whenever he discuss till date, I don't know how I make any discussion without telling my wife, okay, this is what I'm planning, this is what I'm planning, this is what I'm planning. If I make a money right now, I just tell my wife, hey, I just make some money. Because I don't know how people go into marriage and you say, oh, keep your money aspect. Your money should be your money, and money should be our money. When my wife makes money, she don't tell me anything and the rest of it. But that doesn't mean if I need her support, she wouldn't give me support. She will. But anything that happens, I think of the possibility of the marriage going long. I'm not thinking of a marriage going that, there's a possibility that this woman will wake up one day and break up with me. Why? Because I did my due diligence. And I know no matter what happens in life, it seems like when we speak these things, it looks like we are so ignorant. And some people will say, oh, you don't know women and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that there's no possibility of somebody betraying you or cheating or whatever. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that there's nothing that can happen that my woman will feel comfortable to be able to take me to court for divorce. Because the families are all invested from my own end and from our own end. And in fact, they can't see it happen because there's a culture, there's a tradition, there's a perception of how they are thinking. Before you will be able to do that, you have to kidnap her and put her inside, maybe ISIS. You have to mesmerize her brain for her to be able to think such thing. And you can't go into marriage and you are putting one leg in, one leg out. So let me proceed. Number 9, how do you handle financial planning and budgeting within a household? I think I've discussed about it. What is this plan about the future and what is the plan about the moment? How can you support the moment? The moment is not the basic thing that you should focus on or he should be focusing on. It is the future, and you should see him working towards the future. But out of what you are preparing for the future, you guys can sustain yourself at the moment. This is how humans have evolved with time. Number 10, what are your views on gender roles in marriage? And how do you feel about traditional versus modern expectations? What are your views on gender roles in marriage? And how do you feel about traditional versus modern expectations? Now, I would make this very clean and simple to the ladies who are listening and perhaps to the man. If you are in a relationship with a man and the man is saying, there is nothing that can make me wash your clothes, there is nothing that can make me wash the children's clothes, there is no future, and he's not making 6 figures or 10 figures, but he's telling you that there is nothing that can make him do any of all these house activities, or there's nothing that can make him cook for you, nothing. Run. Because what he's telling you is that he's showing a particular personality about him. And the personality simply means that he's an egocentric human being. And so perhaps tomorrow in the relationship, you fall sick and he has the opportunity to be able to do things. It would wake you up no matter how you are on the sick bed and tell you to go and cook for him, simply because he cannot compromise. He cannot be humble. He sees himself as a god. When I get married to my wife, my intention is not to wash clothes. When I get married to my wife, I do not plan to cook. These are not the things that we plan for. These are the roles that I know that she can handle, and she should even handle it. But the reality is that when I begin to see that there is a situation where she needs an assistance, I am willing to compromise to support her. I am always willing to compromise to support her. And trust me, I am a traditional man, a complete traditional African man. And sometimes I don't know where men will come up with this issue. I spoke about it this afternoon. I don't know how we men will come up with these issues that, oh no, we can't do this for this. My father was a very wealthy person when my father was alive. He was a very wealthy person. And he opens a big store for his wives, because my dad he had 2 wives. And I came from the second wife. I'm the first son of my father. And then I realized that whenever I come back from school and my father was at home, he did not go to his work or his office, my father would take my uniform and my brother's uniform, and he would take it and he begins to wash them. This same person has the money to employ people to do this particular stuff. I have elder sisters who are already grown up, who could do these things, but my father saw it as something that, oh, this is my son. Let me participate in his life. Let him see me do this kind of stuff. And I lived with my father in my entire life for 4 years before my father died, from the age of 4 to the age of 8. And within those 4 years, I saw how my father treated his wife. I saw how he participates in the life of the children, and I emulated that after many years. Oh, Debbie Murdoch, welcome. And so, saying things like, I can't support my wife to wash clothes, or I have cooked countless of time. I have cooked, and let me put it to you. My wife do not serve me food without our cultural way in the Yoruba culture is that when a woman wants to give her husband the food, in a sign of respect, she bends her leg a bit. It does not stop me from having a maximum respect in my home and in my family. Respect is not a law. Some people think that to have respect, you have to start giving law like Moses in the Bible. Thou shalt not eat, thou shalt not sleep, thou shalt not wake up, thou shalt not go to church on the Sabbath day. I don't go to church. My wife goes to church. And we respect ourselves for those kind of stuff. I know the Bible more than my wife. But at the end of the day, we would compromise on few things, and there are certain things we are like, this is your life, and this is my life, and this is our life. So number 10, if the man does not think of when you ask him what are your views on gender roles in the marriage, and he says that, oh, you must be the one that will cook from January to December, do not expect me to ever cook for you. He might not know how to cook, but can he help you with clothes? And you see, we have to be realistic with ourselves. Some people will always think that all of us will be like Dangote, all of us will be like Donald Trump, all of us want to get married to what did they call it? And Rick Ross. God will not let some people get married to PDD. But knowing fully well that because of right now, the way we live our life, there are people who always come here. We have people, what they call it, dry cleaners that are these people. They always come to our place to wash my children's clothes and to wash my wife's clothes, including my clothes. But I decided, I said, let them wash my children's clothes and my wife's clothes. I wash my clothes by myself. It did not reduce the money. We still pay the same money, but I said, nobody should wash my clothes. I will be washing my clothes myself. And there's a reason, and let me explain the reason behind it. We are still paying the same money. If she's going to wash all my clothes or all the children's clothes and my wife's clothes, the same money is what we are paying. But I ask her not to wash my clothes. And the reason is this. I like to keep practicing a way of how do I survive in a bush, or how do I survive in the past? How do I understand certain responsibilities? And perhaps, what if there's a situation that comes up and these people disappoint and we cannot get people to wash the clothes, and my wife is not that strong and she needs some support? I need to build that muscle memory in my head because I'm used to it. It doesn't matter anymore. I don't want it to be like a big deal. And let me say this about, is it early this year or there was something going on? Maybe it was the protest time or something was going on. I don't know what was going on. And my wife was not as strong. Because I was perceiving that to happen, my wife was not as strong. And the woman, I think she traveled. The person who always come to wash our clothes, the person kind of traveled. And when the person was not around, I took up all my children's clothes and I took up my wife's clothes and I began to wash them. Simple. How does that take glory away from me? I was available. I have I have workers who work for me. I have people who deliver funds for me. I have few things I'm doing in my life. I have all kinds of investment. So, and I say this, when I found myself in jail early this year, I kept asking myself a question. I was happy when I was in jail. And one of the things that made me happy when I was in jail was like, I knew when I was out of jail, I was loving to my children. I was loving to my wife. Do you imagine finding yourself in a jail and knowing that you had all the time in your life to have been nice to your family, but you never participate in their life simply because of you have ego and a perception that I am a man, and because I am a man? What does that really mean? When you say you are a man, you are trying to identify yourself and put an ego on that particular thing that, oh, I am a man, I am. And when a man begins to tell you, I am a man in this relationship, walk away. And I'm not saying if you have gotten married to him, you should walk away, but just know that such a man does not have integrity or dignity. Because if he do, he doesn't have to say it. You will recognize it. So what is the most important foundation for a happy and lasting marriage? I think for the man, it is respect. But I want you to always understand this when I tell men this. Do not expect respect when you can't control respect. if you laugh as a man and you forget yourself, and then you get disrespected simply because you do not know how to balance life and other things, you're going to have issues. So for a happy relationship, both of you need to compromise on many things. And maybe I will fall back on that subject some other time to discuss more on how to have the important factor of having a happy and lasting marriage, because if I dive into it, it's a rabbit hole I may not be able to come out from. So you talk about how do you manage stress, especially when balancing multiple responsibilities. You have to look at a man, how does he actually work, and what kind of pressure does he go through, and see him with time on those pressures, how he can juggle pressures. And I think that part of this, you can decide to be a support to him. You don't have to put everything on the man. There's a way you can choose to support the man. So when you make a decision to be able to support him, you realize that he is also reciprocating and is willing to grow as a person. And those are the important factors that I look at in relationship. I think we have spent over 56 minutes, so we would round up at this particular place, because I have about extra 6 to go. And in the extra 6 we have, maybe I will push that till weekend, and we would continue on that particular subject in weekend. So if you have any other question, please feel free to bring it up before we say bye-bye for the day. If there are any questions you have, please feel free to ask before we round up for the day. And sorry, for those people who have been expecting us to have some kind of conversation, I told people, like, one of the plan is for us to talk about how the Black American or the Black Western people can come to Africa and the rest of it. We have all those plans at hand, but something happened between the people who we were actually planning to have all these discussions. And so I decided to pause it because of certain challenges or things that they are trying to fix in their life at the moment or within their environment. So I want them to be strong so we can actually come back to those subjects. So that's the reason why you haven't heard me talk about those particular things. So please, if there's any question, let me see it. If there's no question, then let us call it a day. I want to give about 1 minute more. If there's a question, yes, I can answer the question. How can you tell if a man truly loves you? It is simple. Look at his vision, look at his plan, and see how proud he is having you in his life. If he's proud of you, you are not the one to tell him. You can just ask him, when are we going to see our mom? And he doesn't find it difficult to say, oh, I want you to speak to my mom. I want you to speak to my sister. At least he should have somebody who he has a good relationship with in his family. He should be able. See, this is one thing about men. We like to flex our success, and women are part of the success of a man. If a man finds a wife or somebody who he perceives to be a wife or a lover, he wants to flex it to his family and to his friends that he has found the one. Except he's hiding you and you have somebody in mind. So, can I speak to your mom, or how is your mom? How is family? Hope you talk to your mom. Hope you talk to your dad. If you can ask him, how is your mom? How is your dad? Or how is your family? Hope you talk to your mom. Or if he says he have a sister, if he has a cousin, when did you talk to these people and the rest of it? Hope they are doing fine. If he's not including you within a period of 1 month or 2 months, or saying, oh, perhaps maybe I should even call my sister, the person that I have been telling you about. At least when you're in a relationship, he will want to tell you about his mom, he wants to tell you about his dad and all those kind of things. If he's not exposing or talking to you about his family, then that simply means he's not telling you that he wants to introduce you to his family. And if he's only telling you about his family when it comes to problem, it simply means he's using you to solve the problem of his family. But if he's proud of you and he wants to show you to his family and his friends, then it simply means you would know he loves you. And perhaps, like I said earlier, when you begin to have discussions with him and you begin to look at his visions, what are your plans for life? What are you thinking about this? Are you thinking maybe by 3 years from now, what do you think we would be doing? Or what do you think in 5 years from now? What do you think you want in your life? Or how do you see our life moving? And he keeps talking about himself, narrating the story about himself only. You are not part of the picture. Don't bother yourself, stressing yourself on those kind of people. You are only going to hurt yourself the more, because his mind is not ready. And trust me, the worst thing you don't want is it is easy to convince a woman to be a wife and a mother. It is difficult to convince a man to be a father or a husband. It is difficult. It will be like a devil in your life. You'll be like the worst decision you have ever made in your entire life, or you would make in another life to come. You're welcome. Any other question before we round up? Let me give us about 1 minute more. If there's any other question, please feel free. I'm just using this moment to answer questions, and if there's none, then we call it a day. And sometimes, according to what Barry says, sometimes you can ask him. It might not occur to him that he's supposed to show you. Maybe he's so excited having you, but it might not occur to him to show you to his parents and the rest of it. You can raise a question and you say, oh, this is your friend. I would even like to meet him. That's your particular friend, or your mom or your sister or this. I would like to, what do you think about it? Now, if he's hiding you from them, run. If he start giving you excuses and he starts saying, oh, Jesus is coming yesterday, but he decided that he will come next year, and all those kind of excuses, just know this person ain't serious. Simple. All right. Yes, ma'am. With that being said, since there's no more question for the day, please, let's take our time to be careful in the decisions we want to make in our life. Let us all be careful in the steps in our relationship, in the place of work. Let us be more conscious. The purpose of knowledge and the purpose of wisdom is to help us flourish in life. Life is not a suffering ground. The only thing is that our lack of knowledge make us pay the price of the things that we are not supposed to pay for, if we can easily sacrifice for the things that are more knowledgeable. But when we ignore knowledge and we ignore wisdom, we pay the price for making certain wrong decisions. The world will not forgive us. The universe will not forgive us when we make wrong decisions. We are going to pay the price for them. So let us be very careful in the decisions we make, so that we can experience life, so that we can experience joy. I have said this over and over. Just because in my experiences at the past I experienced pain or things that were difficult, does not make my life a hard life. And the reason why my life is not a hard life is basically because when I started becoming more conscious in the decisions I make in my life, I am not making decisions that will hurt my future or my presence. I am more conscious of making the decisions that will give me peace and will put me and the people in my community, my family, and every other person in a blissful state. So with that being said, please do not see me as a person who is perfect. I am not perfect. But out of the experiences of life is why I decide to share my perception with you. With that being said, have a great night. Take care of yourself. My prayers and my regards to every other person around you. Good night. Bye-bye for now. See you tomorrow. Adios, amigos.